It's day 2 in Peoria. We have our top 8. We have some of our favorites. On the winner's side, I know we have HotPoket, which I think we saw every single game that HotPoket played yesterday on stream. He was 6-0. He got a bye first round and is 6-0. Haven't taken a single game loss in the tournament. So I think he has to be the favorite going into day number 2.
Oh, here we are. We've got HotPoket versus Beach7, and then down there, Tonyjr3850 versus NHoff. I really loved NHoff's just energy and vibe up there on the stage. He's dancing around, moving around. I'm not that comfortable when I'm doing my battles. I don't know about you, Butters.
No, she had that confidence. She knew exactly what she had to do, and she executed. That's why she is in the winner's semis here in day number 2.
HotPoket not wasting any time. He just wants to close out this matchup and go up 1-0 in the series.
And there it is, the first knockout of the day in Peoria. HotPoket up 1-0.
Definitely an interesting situation. Now, I always want to emphasize to trainers watching at home, game 1 is very much about collecting information. It's very important to play the matchup out, see what your opponent brings, kind of take notes of their tendencies. HotPoket really felt like the Azumarill, Galarian Stunfisk, and Noctowl were a great trio to beat Beach. How does Beach respond? I mean, is this the point where you bring in that Obstagoon?
And look at this backline matchup. It's the shiny Obstagoon, and here comes the Sky Attack. There is only one Protect Shield remaining. It is no Protect Shielded, but it's Lickitung in the back for HotPoket. Now these double normal type team are just in so much trouble. Here comes the Lickitung, but it's just doing nothing with the Licks. Beach ties it up 1-1.
I think the key here is holding on to that Protect Shield. HotPoket does not want to give it up. I believe he's going to let the Noctowl go here, but it's a very tricky situation, and he does let it go. This is interesting. Undercharged, but I think it's still too much. Skarmory is too powerful. Coming with the Lickitung, you need to body slam here to preserve some HP, I think.
No, you get the full lick down.
Wow.
You get that lick down, and you save that energy to throw the Galarian Stunfisk. There are no Protect Shields remaining. This isn't enough, but with the fast move pressure, we know there's an Azumarill that can do super effective bubbles. There's one Protect Shield remaining for HotPoket, but there's just no health left. You might just get knocked out by mud shots.
How far can HotPoket stretch? The Lickitung, and he gets to the body slam. This is resisted damage. Do we see the Azumarill come in here to finish off the Galarian Stunfisk?
I think this might do it. And
HotPoket,
out of nowhere, takes game number 3 and moves on the winner's side of the bracket.
Resilience. Resilience, resilience, resilience. That Lickitung would not go away quietly into the night. What an incredible play there by HotPoket and his double normal versus double steel.
Guns would be doing more damage than the licks from the Lickitung, so favoring that health on the Tapu Fini is going to be the right play, and it looks like with this second body slam, she has secured her way to the top 4 in Peoria.
All right, great stuff from NHoff. A very clean game number 3, taking the 2-1 victory versus Tonyjr. Keeping all 3 Pokemon alive, in fact, as well. I think that the Tapu Fini continues to be the MVP for NHoff.
We're in the booth. We can see everything just like you at home, and we can see these things playing out, but these trainers only have one perspective. They are locked in, and they're also moving at 100 miles an hour. Every turn is a half second, and every half second counts.
That's the difficulty of these in-game scenarios. There's just so many variables, and I think now it's time to look a quick look at the bracket. I think 2 of our Shadow Razor Leaf trainers have gone down, but let's see who is still in it. Moving on to the winners finals, it is HotPoket and NHoff.
Talk about future scenarios. HotPoket's team predictions have been incredible. That Noctowl is the Pokemon he's leaned on time and time again. And NHoff, my goodness, just having a good time. I was a little bit concerned after there in game 2. NHoff did take that loss there, but came back in game 3 with a victorious run through that last bout.
So going on to the grand finals here, a lot at stake. A world qualification at stake. We do have NHoff versus HotPoket as we head on down to the stage.
Now this is going to be incredible to watch. Both of these trainers very adept at predicting teams and knowing what to do. Their situational awareness is exceptional. Let's run through HotPoket's team here if you're just joining us. Medicham, Noctowl, Galarian Stunfisk, Purified Sableye, Azumarill, and the Lickitung. Look at HotPoket. I think he is ready. I think he's dialed in.
He is definitely dialing in.
HotPoket's team a bit more unique than HotPoket's, but still a lot to love here. Kofa Grigus, Primeape, Altaria, Lickitung, Galarian Stunfisk, and that trusty Tapu Fini. Man, I love some Fini. We are headed down for game number 1. This is the winners finals. This is it. Let's see what happens.
Here we go to try to qualify for the World Championships. And we're gonna test out the bulk of Lickitung here. Can it hang on? It does. You have to throw the sky attack. Are you going for the wing attack down? Here comes the body slam. We know this is not gonna be enough for how much the other body slam did. Will this knockdown be able to get the wing attack down? Yes, it survives. Can that Galarian Stunfisk get to a move? But no, there is the Shadow Ball. No, sorry, the Sky Attack instead by HotPoket.
Yeah, just going for that sure Sky Attack. Galarian Stunfisk definitely within KO range here. Not very effective damage, doesn't matter. Still able to get the KO. What an incredible match, full of twists and turns and dynamic gameplay.
Yeah, and both these trainers are confident. They're just locking in straight away, and it's flying type on flying type, so knocked out into Altaria. We haven't really seen this matchup play out too much. I'm not quite sure whose matchup it is. It's very neutral.
I think Altaria will eventually get the better of the knockdown here, but it is a very close matchup. Like you mentioned yesterday, flexible and impactful. This knockdown is going to deal a lot of damage here over time, the longer the matchup goes on. But look at these two back lines. They're almost identical. Very water types and Lickitung.
Looks like Pocket just calls this one out. That was a tough game. Here comes the Lickitung. You never see a Lickitung get licked down, but there you see it here today in Peoria.
Fantastic counting, and the switch timers are key here as well because HotPoket stayed in the matchup so long that NHoff is able to move the pieces around yet again.
No, absolutely. I mean, just knowing exactly when that body slam was available, licks aren't the easiest move to count, and this is a perfect Earthquake because you're out of range of Rock Slide, so you really force the Protect Shield or the knockout, and Lickitung goes down.
It's not over yet. Medichen goes back onto the field, still has a Protect Shield remaining, and almost gets a full counter down. How good is HotPoket's late game counting? And he calls the Rock Slide instantly.
No way. The no shield on the Rock Slide here. The win condition is getting to 2 Ice Punch. Medicham is so bulky, the champion of fighting types for a reason. It just needs to hang on to reach 2 of them.
Medicham needs to clutch this up. We've seen those one-turn Dragon Breaths come through and disrupt everything. Here comes the first Ice Punch. Does he get to a second?
It needs to survive a Dragon Breath to get to the next Ice Punch, and Medicham does it. It's able to get to this Ice Punch. It's double super effective. This Altaria is low, and HotPoket takes game number 3.
I was going to say get Medicham a cup of ice water after that battle, but he is pretty cool there, delivering the double Ice Punch knockout. NHoff is just commanding this game.
But look at this backline matchup, and actually coming in with the Kofa Grigas here and going to be able to take the play rough here. I don't know about this. Obviously, we know the backline matchups, and the competitors do not. So taking that move, now swapping into the Medicham now, into this Kofa Grigas, and we don't see this very often, but this is a fantastic matchup for the Kofa Grigas.
Hey, we're heading into the 9th round here, and Medicham shows just how strong it is. Don't ever count this Pokemon out. I think if you land a Psychic, maybe even trigger a Defense Fall of your own and some counters, this could flip still.
And Medicham carried in that last game. Can it take HotPoket to the World Championships? It needs to land this Psychic, and Medicham does it!
You're going to resist these counters, no Defense Fall, and coming through here with a charge attack of her own. NHoff is not done yet. Fights back here at the Shadow Ball. It pulls away that final Protect Shield. This all comes down to that Galarian Stunfisk in the back.
And here comes the Galarian Stunfisk, throwing out the Earthquake. There are no Protect Shields remaining. This is definitely enough to knock out the Medicham, and it is going to knock out the Medicham here. It goes down. How much energy does Zumaro have? It doesn't have enough already at the Rock Slide, but deciding to deflex and go for the Earthquake instead. NHoff ties it up 2-2.
Galarian Stunfisk just really showing NHoff's strength of will. Does not bend, just like the Steel-type Pokemon there. We are tied up here in what has been an incredible series.
My goodness, Tapu Fini has been the MVP for NHoff's tournament run and the MVP in this series, getting Attack Fell after Attack Fell, just going for these Moonblasts, surviving. I really like how Azumarill doesn't quite want to play that one out. Here comes the Moonblast and no Protect Shield.
It's really hard to say how this will turn out, but let's see if that Attack Fall occurs yet again for NHoff's Tapu Fini.
Oh,
and it does!
Goodness!
Again and again and again, Tapu Fini is showing up big here for NHoff.
Just 100% chance on these Moonblasts. The last Protect Shield for NHoff here. Now this Altaria is desperately reaching for the Sky Attack before the Ice Punch gets there about one turn before, and it gets the last Protect Shield. No Protect Shields left in the game. I think timers are coming back up as the Sky Attack does get Protect Shield. Not quite yet, so you could throw the Ice Punch. The timers are ticking, ticking, ticking. No, Ice Punch instead.
This is the difference. So now the Medicham is almost almost within that body slam range. NHoff needs to execute here to get a win, and Pocket needs to hold her off. Reaching for the body slam, Lickitung is racing, coming in with the Azumarill, and here's an Ice Beam.
Maybe was trying to Ice Beam at the same time as the body slam, but throwing this energy nonetheless and hitting it on the Lickitung. Now this Lickitung can be patient, just needs to get the 2 body slams here to finish out this game and move on to the grand finals. And here comes a play rough. Now it's getting a little more scary.
This is all about patience. You need those 2 body slams. You're going to lose the CMP exchange against the Metachamp, and you're taking a lot of damage in the meantime. Lickitung needs to get there, and it does. Did NHoff just lock things down?
And this is 1 body slam for Lickitung for NHoff, and it's going to be able to knock out the Azumarill. You need 1 more body slam to go on to the grand finals.
Oh my
and
goodness!
NHoff gets there. Lickitung goes on to the grand finals.
NHoff, just incredible play. Just the unlikelihood of all those attack drops really pay off, and Tapu Fini is that lucky charm.
Wow, what a series. I mean, really top level competitors here. NHoff was down 1-2, comes back with on the shoulders, riding the surf waves of Tapu Fini to go on to the grand finals, something that NHoff has been searching for regional after regional. She has now qualified for the World Championships in HotPoket. An amazing performance, not out of it yet. Gonna be moving down to the losers finals.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize your last point as well. We cannot count HotPoket out of this series, of this tournament, out of this championship this weekend. He still has another shot to get back. And if HotPoket can defeat that losers finalist, he will beat NHoff again.
Wow, what a rematch that will be. I mean, it doesn't get closer than that.
But no, we're going to come right in with this Noctowl, able to get to the Sky Attack before Lickitung is able to reach its Body Slam. This should be enough, Alpha Phoebe.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough position for Trent there, because if he had thrown the Rock Slide, I bet HotPoket would have no-shielded, come in with the Noctowl. You're not really afraid of those mud shots. You would have gotten a lot of energy on the Noctowl, and the Noctowl would have been really close to that Sky Attack by the time that Trent's 3rd Pokemon came in.
This is going to be the foul play versus the Rock Slide. A little bit of an undercharge here, in fact, leaving a little bit of health on this Galarian Stunfisk, which is now going to allow it to get to this Rock Slide. A little bit of HP still on this Galarian Stunfisk, maybe for some farm, but I think that Trent can just swap into the Swampert.
An immense undercharge on that Rock Slide, giving the Swampert an energy advantage against the Metachamp. I really love that from
And it's a race to the
player of
finish.
Trent, and the Hydro Cannon comes out right before the Ice Punch, which would have knocked out the Swampert. Great undercharge by Trent to get that energy advantage he needed.
How many times have we seen Swampert able to get to that last charge move, CMP tie, and take these games? So many times, Alpha Phoebe, and we have Trent able to tie the series up 1-1 on the back of the Swampert. Yeah, shield remaining, but who can get to 2 charge moves first? I gotta give the advantage to the Lickitung here.
It's so close. I don't know as of yet who will actually win this race. It's going to be so close. The Sky Attack's actually coming out, and it looks like it's a potential CMP between Noctowl and Lickitung. I'm actually not even sure if it isn't one who wins charge move priority.
Both of these trainers have the charge moves loaded. Which one's going to be able to get theirs off? It is going to be the Lickitung. It was a charge move priority despite Noctowl having the energy prior. It was a charge move priority on the first Sky Attack that was thrown. That's going to be enough, and we have Trent taking the victory in game number 3. 1 victory away from moving on to the Grand Championship. Oh, that was a close one, Alpha Phoebe. 1 turn away, essentially, for HotPoket from winning that matchup. Well, we're going to be moving into game number 5 here, guys. This is it. This is win or go home. There has been no more critical moment for either of these 2 trainers. This is going to determine their outcome of their tournament. And here we have it. We have a mirror matchup, the Galarian Stunfisk into Galarian Stunfisk for both of these trainers. This is it.
This is a very precarious situation to be in for both battlers. The Galarian Stunfisk mirror is so well known to be super hard to play out because the Earthquake is super effective and the Rock Slide does not do much damage. No shield coming in on the Earthquake, and a Rock Slide bait is coming towards HotPoket. Well, he shields it as well, but this is not great for Trent because he's in the range to be mud shot down.
Yeah, at this point, probably another Rock Slide may be enough. Going to be desperately trying to get to this Earthquake here. Will he be able to make it, or will HotPoket throw the Rock Slide? Oh, we see a simultaneous swap, and this is terrible for Trent. Unfortunately, we just saw this matchup play out. We're going to be seeing it again. We have the Noctowl into the Lickitung, the double resisted licks coming through. Going to be relying solely on body slam to try and chip this Noctowl. This is looking incredibly good for a HotPoket. That was a very tough situation. Despite having all of that energy loaded on that Galarian Stunfisk, it went nowhere.
We see the shield coming up from HotPoket, playing safe. making sure that that Sky Attack does not do damage to his Sableye, and that is the victory for HotPoket. We're going to be having a rematch here between HotPoket and NHoff in the Grand Finals.
I don't know if you can see my arms here, Alpha Beef. I've got goosebumps because I was so amazed by the play of HotPoket, and I know so many people wanted to see that rematch. What a close game we had in that initial winners finals, translating to another incredibly close game that we had as well here in the losers finals. But now HotPoket, you can see he can barely believe it. He's going to be getting another chance. He's punched his ticket in the top 2. He's for sure going to be going to Japan, but he still has the chance to battle against NHoff for the Grand Champion title.
If it does end in a bracket reset, I don't know how we're going to survive that. We've been sitting through these intense battles so far, and we're stressed out. We're behind the desk. We're not even playing the battles.
I know, it has been some of the closest games that we've seen at any of the regional tournaments. 1 HP on so many of these battles. And the thing for us, it's so hard to predict. There are so many plays that are, like I mentioned, a million different outcomes that can happen in these matchups. And I think the next Mudshot might be enough. At this point, it's going to be a race to the Earthquake. The Galarian Stunfisk versus Galarian Stunfisk. Can you farm down? Has the Rock Slide, though. The Rock Slide is stored here. Going to be able to throw the Rock Slide, and this is enough at this tiny HP amount to knock out the Galarian Stunfisk for NHoff.
Unfortunately for NHoff, the undercharge wasn't quite enough. 2 Mudshots knocking out HotPoket's Azumarill meant that she was still 1 Mudshot short of an Earthquake when HotPoket's Galarian Stunfisk came back in. You see the body slam coming out, even though it's double resisted by Sableye's Ghost typing. This will be enough to knock out this game. Really game down to switch, and which Fairy Water type is more potent depending on the user.
When it's Water Gun versus Bubble, we got to give the advantage to the Water Gun user there, that's being the Tapu Fini, and that was the story of the game. It was that switch matchup. Once the Lickitung was no longer a line versus the Noctowl and the line versus the Sableye, able to get those positive matchups, and NHoff tying up the series 1-1. Formula for NHoff right now is somehow farming down this Galarian Stunfisk, but too much HP at this point. Going to come out with a lot of energy. This Rock Slide to Alpha V's point is going to be enough to knock out the Kofagrigus. Is there a Surf loaded for NHoff? I don't think so. Yeah, not quite there, trying to desperately get there, but unfortunately not able to do so. Galarian Stunfisk gets the farm down. HotPoket takes game number 2. He's 1 victory away from resetting the bracket and taking us to 1 more series. Yeah, at this point now getting to that Power Whip, right? I think that HotPoket recognizes that, hey, I just don't have what I need here for this particular game. Going to go ahead and go back to the drawing board, and it's going to take us to a decisive game number 5. This is now all of our best of 5s going to 5 games. This is incredible, Alpha V, but I think this is what everyone wants to see. These trainers are getting locked in. We still have not seen the Primeape Alpha V. Could there be a surprise in store for us in Game 5?
I feel like NHoff is not willing to bring Primeape into any team that has Azumarill. I would be a little bit shocked. My understanding is that she did not run it at all day 1. We've seen all of her battles day 2. Will she have just used Primeape as bench pressure for this whole entire tournament?
What a story that would be in not using one of your Pokemon of 6 at all, but at the same time, what if that's the formula for success? But we're moving in here, game number 5. We've got the Tapu Fini versus the Lickitung. Probably not what this Tapu Fini wants to see, but with a debuff from that Moonblast, could be a little bit easier. We're seeing these Water Guns add up quite fast, but with that bulk of that Lickitung, the Licks are actually hitting a little bit harder, I think.
Instead, switches out, and unfortunately, it looks like the cord might have come unplugged again.
All right, well, it looks like that we are having a little bit of a game issue here, and it's going to be causing a little bit of a pause. We're going to have to see if this one's going to continue going on. Unfortunate to see here in our game number 5. Right now, we do have the Lickitung able to make it to a body slam here. We're seeing the weak connection on our screen, though.
And the Altaria is able to farm down the Lickitung. I think that HotPoket might not have thrown that body slam, understanding that he would have only gotten to 1 had that issue not occurred.
All right, I kind of like this play, actually.
Yeah, we do see that the Rock Slide is loaded and is going to be going into NHoff's Altaria. That is going to be GG's for this 3rd game. I think the players might have to talk a little bit about the impact of that, and we'll let you know as soon as we hear word.
Well, as it stands now, HotPoket able to take game number 5 in a 3-2 series victory. We're going to go ahead and let these players and judges talk a little bit to confirm that that's going to be our standing result here. But as it stands right now, HotPoket forcing a bracket reset in game number 5. Bracket reset. Oh my gosh, this is now going to be the 3rd series between these 2 opponents here. We've got NHoff facing off versus HotPoket yet again. It has come down down to game 5 in both series, and I expect it to be coming down to game number 5 in this series as well. We see the shield on the power whip, no bait whatsoever, and able to make it to the next power whip as well. Okay, no protect shield. This will be enough to knock out the Azumarill. We saw the Sableye throwing the return. I think that one foul play is going to be enough. It's going to be a race to the finish, though. Do you get to the body slam or do you get to the foul play first? Which one's going to hang on here? This is a race here. Gets to the body slam, but no, the foul play at 1 HP, able to take the victory. HotPoket Sableye will take game number 1.
Survives with 1 HP. Sableye was so low on health, the licks started adding up. They are doing a lot of neutral damage to it.
Be still my beating heart. These matchups are so incredible. Every one of these games coming down to 1 HP, there are so many decisions that could go one way or the other, but these trainers are making all the right decisions. HotPoket shielding that first power whip. Despite shielding the power whip, we still saw NHoff able to get to that next power whip, and it came down to which trainer could get to the charge move faster. I think if NHoff had any additional energy whatsoever, she may have been able to outpace to that body slam, but had to throw that power whip right away, knowing that the Azumarill on the side of HotPoket had energy ready to go, so imminent.
It's going to be pretty close. Those Shadow Claws have started to add up. It's going to come down to if this does enough damage, and it does not. The Galarian Stunfisk hangs on with 1 HP, and the Sableye is going to be knocked out by this rock slide. The set is tied up.
We've never even gone to 2-0. This never gets more than 1 game away from being tied. What an incredible game. Yet again, another 1 HP game. Sadie, this is double super effective damage. Keep in mind, I don't think that this Altaria is going to be able to hang on. Let's see if it's able to hang on with 1 HP. No, goes down here, and HotPoket taking game number 3 in a 2-1 series lead.
Yeah, a bit of unfortunate maneuvers by NHoff made it so that that Metacham, even though it wasn't in a positive matchup going up against that Altaria, was able to thrive due to its double super effective Ice Punch. You love to see Pokemon flipping matches that they should normally lose into winning games.
Yeah, and I'm actually pretty impressed with the way that Noctowl was able to handle the Tapu Fini. Those wing attacks, they start adding up pretty quick, and then those sky attacks just being a relatively good move. Able to outpace just a little bit as well, so I thought that that was pretty nice play. So let's see if NHoff has any surprises in store for us. Really, back up against a wall at this point. Needs to win out at this point. 2 straight victories in order to continue on her run here as the grand champion. HotPoket 1 victory away from getting the grand championship, and he went down through the losers bracket. He's already reset the bracket here, so it all comes down to this.
Game number 4 here, Primate into that Stunfisk, a huge lead for NHoff.
Do my eyes deceive me? No, they don't. We are seeing our first action from the Primate here, going to be bringing in the Noctowl right away. Going to be going for, I believe, a super effective Ice Punch here right away. Okay, so let's see this power up come out now. That keep in mind, this is super effective damage. Probably not enough to knock out the Azumarill, but it is low energy, so probably going to be able to lick down and really not take too much damage from these bubbles whatsoever. Get closer and closer to that body slam. Right now, you still need to land an Earthquake if you're going to be HotPoket and try and win this matchup. Goes for the Earthquake and actually gets there, but no, it is a CMP tie. Actually wins the CMP tie, gets this Earthquake, but you are now completely energy dry. You've got 1 HP left, and hey, there's still a third Pokemon on the side of NHoff. It is that Tapu Fini hitting super effective with that Water Gun and able to tie up the series 2-2. We are not going to be seeing any 3-1s, no 3-0s. We are once again going to a Game 5 here in the Grand Finals. It all comes down to this. Able to take the victory. Folks, this is it. It is Game 5. It all comes down to this. The energy is electric here in Peoria. We have the Galarian Stunfisk into the Lickitung.
This is a matchup we've seen time and time and time and time again. I'm saying time more than the number of licks that it takes to get to this Power Whip. An Earthquake comes off. It's been such a mind game here to shield or not the first charge move in this matchup.
All right, well this time, I think we saw actually NHoff last time throw the Rock Slide, which went unshielded, but now throwing the Earthquake, which gets shielded. HotPoket figuring out all the strategies here, able to get the proper shield and now land the Power Whip as well.
The one thing I really like from these team compositions, though, is that NHoff has Tapu Fini and Lickitung in the back, which pairs up very well against both Azumarill and the Galarian Stunfisk. Switch is not important to her. I would expect that if HotPoket, given having shielded once already, I really like where NHoff is here.
I really like having 2 shields on a Pokemon that has high fast move pressure, something like a Tapu Fini. The biggest threats to that Tapu Fini from a fast move perspective are probably going to be either Lickitung with its licks, the Sableye with its Shadow Claw, maybe even the Medicham with its counters. But right now, we're looking like we're in a pretty good spot here and probably expecting the Azumarill somewhere. Those bubbles don't add up too quick. Here comes the Lickitung versus Lickitung Alpha Phoebe.
The one issue with losing lead there is that NHoff does not have any great Pokemon to bring into this Lickitung. I do prefer the Lickitung switch in, given that you are not threatened by either charge move on HotPoket's Lickitung.
I think that what we're going to see is this Lickitung just absorb all this energy on the Lickitung from HotPoket, but HotPoket, I like what he's doing here, and he's making sure that he's preserving some energy, never throwing a charge move without some reserve energy as well. So even if NHoff switches into the Lickitung, already going to be close to a power whip no matter what.
I think this Body Slam is not going to be quite enough to knock out HotPoket's Lickitung, and I think NHoff is going to get a pretty nice lick down afterwards. She's going to be relatively close to another Power Whip, and we're going to see what a 2-shielded Tapu Fini can do.
All right, well, you've got some energy on your Lickitung, and you've got a 2-shielded Tapu Fini. Right now, we bring in the Stun Fist. Don't want to have that Azumarill with the threat of that super effective Power Whip. Going to be taking all of this damage. The Galarian Stun Fist. It may come down to the battle of the Water Fairies here. Tapu Fini into the Azumarill, but no, we're staying in here. HotPoket determined to get a shield here. Once again, throwing a Rock Slide time and time again. At this point, NHoff knows that this is a Rock Slide, but doesn't know what's in the back, doesn't know if it's the Azumarill, but it is. Here comes the Azumarill. These bubbles are resisted, saving 2 shields for these charge moves.
I think NHoff is very happy with that no-shield decision, given that Rock Slide will do less damage than any charge move coming from this Azumarill. A Moonblast coming through. It is going to be shielded. That is a great shield option by HotPoket. However, the bubbles really don't do that much damage to Tapu Fini.
Okay, but keep in mind, this Galarian Stunfisk still has a decent amount of health. It's not quite in range to get knocked out by Surf, and slowly but surely, this Tapu Fini is getting closer and closer to Rock Slide range after these bubbles start to add up. All right, but no shields remain at this point. Right now, we're going to be seeing this Moonblast come out. This is not enough to knock out. The question is, can this Azumarill get to 2 charge moves? It has the Ice Beam loaded, ready to go. This will almost assuredly take the next shield, but what are we going to be seeing here from NHoff?
Oh my gosh, that attack drop makes this so complex. She's going to no-shield the Ice Beam. That's going to put her critically low on health. She's not going to be really threatened by these bubbles, as I've said before. Will she decide to throw a Surf here? It's actually another Ice Beam before anything else can happen. She has the Surf loaded. The Lickitung still has a good amount of health left. I don't think there's a combo play available to HotPoket here.
Okay, well, banks the move, almost at a Moonblast as well. This Lickitung is going to be reaching for this Power Whip, going to be able to get there just before this Rock Slide, but no, we have a CMP. This is a CMP. Rock Slide going to be coming through here. Is this enough to knock out the Lickitung Alpha Feed?
It's going to be so close. If this Power Whip goes through, that puts NHoff in a great spot, but it does knock out the Lickitung. The immediate throw of the Surf from NHoff. Will the bubbles KO first, or will the Water Guns?
Okay, this Surf's going to come through, and it actually does knock out the Galarian Stunfisk, but right now it's bubbled. This is coming down to the timer at this point. Can you get there? No! We have HotPoket taking the game number 5. He will be our grand championship here, Peoria. You see our 2 trainers hug it out. What an incredible series. 3 series we saw between these 2 trainers. Ultimately, HotPoket able to force the bracket reset and take the game 5 victory to punch his ticket as the grand champion.